This is fantastic. It's 8:36. Sometimes you got to love the Twitter. When I don't know, it must have shown up in my feed, but I see these guys tweeting about Seinfeld. I'm like, oh, what's this? And I find it's a podcast called "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty."
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
Say it like this: these pretzels are making me thirsty. Chris O'Hara, Tony Swilla. Is it Quilla? Swilla? I'm sorry, I'm a Paisan, but I don't know how to say the name.
Chula. It's Chula.
Chula. I should have known. Okay. I should have like Shula. Hey guys, welcome.
Hey, Paul.
This is exciting because we're in a new studio here, and we have the capabilities to be able to see you cats. So it's kind of cool. And I just used the expression cats, which is
okay, Carol Baskin.
But this is the #1 destination for Seinfeld fans, and it says it right on their bio.
That's right. Yeah, Paul, thanks for having us, and go Gators.
Oh, dude, really?
Yeah, I'm a big Spurrier guy back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
I thought you were going to say you went to school there, and we knew each other from back in the day. So anyway, I started digging in on your podcasts, and I've gone way back, and I've listened to a bunch. I do agree with you guys on many cases, and I disagree with you, which is the beauty of Seinfeld. And you two disagree with one another, which is fun. You argue about episodes, etc. I, like you guys, am not a fan of the gimmicky stuff.
Right.
And maybe you can explain what you consider the gimmicky episodes.
Yeah, anything really after season 7, it gets a little bit gimmicky, right? Seasons 8 and 9, after Larry leaves, you're talking about like the Millennium or the Frogger, these types of episodes.
Okay, yeah.
Paul, when you hear catchphrases, like "no soup for you" or "sponge-worthy," I don't know. At that point, they were better than that, And
trying. They were at one point. I think they were trying to come up with catchphrases like sidling up and
right.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I will say this: I should probably be a guest on your podcast because I may be the only person that ever took Jay Peterman fishing.
Oh,
the real Jay Peterman.
Yeah. John O'Hurley is a buddy of mine, and I not only took him fishing and put him on some big fish. I'll have to share the pictures with you, but I ended up in Spain and France with him a couple of years ago. So I have some great stories.
Wonderful.
By the way, he is that character in real life. He just played himself. Like sitting at a restaurant with O'Hurley, it's like, I think I'll have the foie gras when served on a cracker. He does the whole. That's his character. That's who he is.
Yeah, great guy, big Red Sox fan. The whole thing. We had him on the show as well.
Oh, good. I'm glad you got to talk to him. We're in Spain or sitting at a winery, and he's watching a Red Sox game at 3:00 in the morning on his phone. I love that.
Same with us. He was watching a preseason game when we talked to him. We had it out of the background.
So some of my episodes, like there are moments in every episode that I love, and I know that you guys weren't fans of the Merv Griffin, but there's moments in the Merv Griffin episode that I like. Kramer is just fantastic as the host of a show in his house. And I know it seems a little gimmicky, but I don't know why. Maybe because I grew up with the Merv Griffin show, but I think it's hilarious. And I also think that when George comes in and the crowd is cheering and he's looking, that's one of my favorite moments. Am I missing something?
Listen, Tone, my partner's a little tougher on that episode than I was, but yeah, I think Kramer was solid in that episode. And the George, some of that, but some of it just went a little too far. I mean, and the whole squirrel situation.
The squirrel stuff. Okay, yeah, you're right.
I mean, some things really, take the anchor and make that boat sink. You know what I mean? And I think that the squirrel was one of those for Merv Griffin.
I also think one of the greatest characters to ever come on any Seinfeld episode, and I can't think of the actor's name, but the library, the guy that Bookman. I mean, it's absolute brilliance on television. And the guy, well, he ended up on Curb Your Enthusiasm too as the doctor.
Yeah, Philip Baker Hall.
Thank you. Okay, good. I couldn't think of his name.
Yeah, we and a guest of the upcoming show is the actual librarian, the woman in that episode. So I mean, you brought it up. Seinfeld, it's not about the main four. Like, it's the guest stars and how they shine. And That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to chronicle the show as best we can, so you can learn from each and every one of those guest characters.
Yeah, it's called This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty. You can find it on the iHeartRadio app. I also I'm a big fan of the episode The Switch, which has never been done before. I just think that anyone who ever dated or tried to date multiple people in their lives coming along can relate to that episode. And I don't know what are your thoughts on that episode?
Yeah, it's one of those that's it's solid, right? I'm not going to put it at the top, but I'm not going to put it at the bottom. I love some of the shots they do, the overhead shots in the coffee shop, and they're struggling together, and they play the music in the background, that like jazzy music. It's definitely, it's up there. I could see the appeal to that one for sure.
And the best early episode, is it the pony remark?
It's up there. Jacket's good.
Yeah, the jacket.
Message, right,
the jacket is pretty strong. Yeah.
The phone message is one of our favorites. Coffee's not coffee. Coffee's sex. I mean,
right.
I think the early seasons get a little bad of a rap, but I think they're really setting the tone for what's to come. And again, I think we break down Seinfeld into kind of three eras, right? Kind of seasons 1 through 5 when Larry Charles and Tom Sharonis, the director, are still there. And then those guys leave, and it's 6 and 7. And we're getting a little cartoonish. And then the last 2 seasons when Larry David's gone. So it's kind of Seinfeld has 3 eras, if you will. For my money, it could have ended, honestly, season 5 with the opposite, when George gets the job with the Yankees. And for me, he could have went off into the sunset there. But, it's a business. 30 million people watching it.
Right.
Ready to go.
And we did get some gems after that. I will say that I think the episode that gripped me when I first saw it, I said, this show speaks to me, was The Pen, because the whole Del Boca Vista and visiting the parents and going into the house and it was, why is it so hot? All those things I could completely relate to with parents down here.
Right.
Guys, we got to run. We'll talk again. It's called This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty. I'm going to tweet the hell out of you guys and reach out. Let me know. Talk to you soon.
All best of luck. Thanks for having us,
guys.
Thanks,
now
Paul.
listen to the next one. Very cool. Bum, 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 bum. I love zooming with these guys, man. That's great. All right, what do you got coming up next, Mikey?